evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on folks. Email away George Page, aka the Emperor of Fear About to Talk, coming to you live on YouTube, folks. Boy, we're halfway through November. Wow, we have one more week, and then it's gonna be turkey time. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Can't believe it. And I think we got at least about 6 more weeks left of 2025. Time is flying, folks. So also we had a couple of shows this weekend. One we just saw a lady just won her Olympic qualification. Shout out to Nana Silva. She won in Brazil. That's be her second one, and she's going to be competing for 2026. And also we have another show coming up tomorrow, which is Atlantic Coast and women's physique and other divisions going to be playing. And also have it today, also a figure. But anyway, folks, I have here a lovely lady who just turned pro just about I would say about 8 weeks ago. North Americans, and she won the women's 35 over and the overall in that division. So we're gonna welcome the lovely Miss Leah Jeffire, and we want to say thank you for your time, ma'am, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so the first question I'm gonna ask you, this is a question I always ask: what got you ladies started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Yeah, like I said, I was at a gym and I was doing personal training mostly, and I was doing some strongman stuff too because I was large. I was 250 pounds. I mean, and I'm only 5'8", so it was pretty big. So I ran into, though, at that gym, Andrea Shaw. She was working out of that gym too, and doing things with posing and training people. So that's kind of how I got exposed to bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding in general. I was unaware of pretty much anything with it. I've always been an athlete. I come from a family of athletes. So even as a child, I was in the gym. My dad coached wrestling at different colleges, university, internationally. So when my brother and I were little, we were at gyms. So I don't know. I got sober 5 years ago. And when I got sober, that's when I started going to the gym. I hadn't been in a gym in, God, probably since I was boxing. So probably close to 2 decades. So that's something that I did, and it helped me tremendously with that. And that's how I ran into Drea.
Pretty good story. I mean, she's an amazing lady. I'm a big fan of hers. Also, she's my girlfriend. So, I think she's amazing. I got a quick story to say, folks. I got to get it out of the way. A friend of mine named Eunice Kitchens. She runs her own company called Bad Rap. Anytime I see the name, I got to pull on the hat. The moniker is Big and Defined, Ripped and Pumped. And we like your ladies pumped and ripped. So, and
that's awesome.
She ran into Andrea back in 2023. And I often say like this: if you're good at something, as the other guy would say, never do it for free. So, and this was my reward. It was like just a week after my birthday when she sent me this. It was an issue of Muscle Development. It's Andrea on the cover.
Nice, yes.
And what makes it so special for me is she signed it.
Did she, Drea?
Yeah, and she told me because you see it right here. She signed it. Look at her head ready. Yeah.
She's great. She's so nice.
She said to me, George, you are the best. Your support means the world to me. See you soon, and sending you love, Andrea Shaw.
I'm telling you, next time I see her, I'm gonna have her do a video message for you, give you a shout out.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Yes, she's the best.
A while back, a friend of mine got me a shout out with Ashley Jones. I met Ashley I was at Tampa.
Runner up this year, right?
Yeah, number 2 in the world now. And and I met her when I was at Tampa because a friend of mine, my friend Eunice, was running her booth there, and I went there to help her out. and she was there, and I got to meet her and talk to her.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Picture. She's a great person. I mean, and she gave me a shout out.
I've not seen her in person before, but Andrea speaks very highly of her.
Yeah, she is. She's one that really motivated to step up. So you were going through an addiction, alcoholism, or was it? What kind of drugs? Was it alcohol, drugs?
Mine was bad. For nearly 2 decades, I struggled with substance use disorder. Alcohol, yes, but primarily for the most part of it, I was a IV heroin, cocaine, crack cocaine. It was bad. Yeah. I have half a dozen felonies. I don't know how many misdemeanors. I was homeless for over a decade. Yeah, I nearly died several times. Both of my legs were almost amputated. My liver and kidneys completely shut down. Yeah, I mean, most of the people I know are gone from addiction. It's the infections and things that come with that, and abscesses. I mean, chunks of my legs are missing. So I didn't know really if I was going to survive or be able. I didn't think I'd be able to get sober. I was so dependent. I mean, I would get so incredibly sick. Fentanyl came out, and once your body is addicted to all these chemicals, and it's been going on for so long, it's catastrophic what it does to the body, obviously, but with your mind too. I think you get beat to a place and reduced to like this animalistic level where you don't know that you'll ever be able to function or operate again. So yeah, I've been in probably well over 100 different inpatient facilities in that 20 years, damn near. So yeah, it was bad, but I work with people now that struggle with substance use disorder and mental health things. And I told Drea, because Drea, I know when she was young, she was in certain parts of the city where she lived. She was further west from where I was in the city, but she's familiar with the area. And it's like, not a lot of people really make it out of there. And I know that was a huge motivation for her getting into bodybuilding, to get away from all that life. And because it's very difficult to get out of it. It really is. It's paralyzing. But I work with people now that are still struggling, and it's something to say that, look, if I was able to get sober, A, but B, do this with my body with barely any money. I think I was on Social Security when I got sober. I lived on a pull-out futon for indigent people in a halfway house. I couldn't even afford one of those twin beds. You know what I mean? I couldn't afford a gym membership. I couldn't afford anything. So like, I was eating what I could on food stamps, in the beginning of my lifting and things like that. I mean, I've probably been lifting for 4.5 years now. I've only been doing things with the bodybuilding for like 1.5 years. So I think just genetically, I'm probably a really easy gainer, because I know a lot of people, they come into this at smaller divisions or have been training longer, but I don't know. I think my body was probably so malnourished and polluted for so long that once it was healthy, things just kind of went pretty quick. Yeah, my story is a lot different than probably most people.
Well, like I said, I knew people, family members, friends who deal with addiction. Sometimes they're beating it, but in most cases it has beaten them, because that's the thing is, it could be anything from drugs, alcohol to, just it's like food. That's an addiction.
Food,
you can look at me right here. I mean, but
I completely get that.
Yeah, but I think once we find something that can help us to deal with it and help, to deal with the emotional and the mental facts of it, that's good.
Yes,
and also you were a boxer? What was it?
I boxed at Kronk, the original Kronk gym in Detroit, before they closed the original one. Yeah, Emmanuel Stewart, his nephew, Javen Sugar Hill, that trained Tyson Fury when he did his comeback and won. Javen's trained a lot of champions, but Emmanuel Stewart would be down there before he passed in the basement. It was great, but I mean, I shattered my nose. There's nothing there. And it's been reconstructed multiple times. But I did not move well. You see how I kind of was just a stand and get hit as much as I was hitting somebody. And as much as he tried, I think I was probably like, there was one other white person out there, this guy, but like there was a marked difference in the way that we moved as opposed to like the people from these Mexican and African American fighters that are just like it looks effortless and they move just so seamlessly and agile, and we're just kind of just like it was a big difference in trying to learn that footwork with that.
That's the thing. That's very important about footwork and moving. Also defense. Like you look at guys like Floyd Mayweather back in the day. Look at Ali.
Yep.
One woman that I think they just did a movie about her, Christy Martin, and she was probably one of the toughest. So
I remember. I remember back in the day. Do you remember? Everyone wanted to see her fight Layla Ali. Layla was a lot bigger, but that was the fight everybody wanted to see. And I'm like, I don't know.
Disappointment. Truthfully, the fight I think everybody really wanted to see was Layla versus Ann Brown Sugar Wolf.
Yes, Ann Wolf was my favorite. She was a tank, boy.
You remember when she knocked out Vonda Ward?
The big, tall white woman. Yes. Oh my God. And she trained some men. That were, I saw something done on her and she had them doing road work and all sorts of, that's a tough sport too. It really is.
Yeah. We talked about Ann Wolf. She actually had a part in the first Wonder Woman movie that was out a few years ago. She played one of the Amazons. So now, after this, dealing with addiction and finding bodybuilding, what was that like your first time on stage? You got to think about it. You got to walk on stage. You're half butt naked.
My God!
You're covered in oil and tan, and you got these lights on you. What was that feeling for you that first time?
You know what? I don't even know if I have the words for the horror that my first show was. Drea literally, when we were talking about it the one day, was on the floor laughing at me. I think that was my solo routine that happened with, but she was like, I told her, I was like, it was so stupid in hindsight, looking back at doing that. I had never even seen a bodybuilding show before, let alone been to one. And I just made up my mind. I just decided, like, I'm just going to roll up. Nobody's going to be bigger than me. So, like, how am I going to lose? I had no idea how any of it worked. Like, and when they sent the guidelines and the judging explanation, and I didn't read any of it. And my partner, she was like, did you read any of this? Like, you're graded on your femininity. A lot of it is your posing and presentation. I didn't know how to pose. I had no idea. And I showed up at a group posing thing Drea was doing 5 days before the competition. I didn't even know what way I'm turning when she's calling these poses out, what any of it means. Like, I'm looking around like, and it was at that moment that I was like, oh my God. Like, I have grossly overestimated like my ability to just show up and win. And I had an Amazon bikini sent to me, like primed the night before. Like it wasn't even like a bodybuilding suit. I had no idea what I was doing. So fast forward to this show, I ended up losing to someone like a third of my size, a half my size at best, probably, and not as conditioned. But I had to really kind of just as quickly as I could memorize where my positioning with my limbs and feet and what I was supposed. It was ugly. It was really embarrassing looking back. But Drea was like, you know, a lot of people wouldn't have shown up. He's like, a lot of people say they want to do this, but when it comes time to actually getting up there and doing it, it's two different things. So after that, I was kind of like, you know, maybe this is not for me, but I'm just kind of a person that doesn't like to lose. I feel like I don't like losing more than I like winning. So I kind of was like, I'm gonna do this again. And that's when I got linked up with Christina Mendoza. She's so nice. She's probably the nicest person in this sport and helps so many women. But Natalie Wolf, who's in Michigan also, physique, she had recommended her to me, and she even was like, I didn't know. Yeah, she was like, I didn't know if we were going to be able to pull this together enough to get you up there for that next one. But I did, and that qualified me to compete nationally. And that's when I started working with Christina virtually and Drea in person, an hour of conditioning and running through posts. And it's nice too, because like there are some times where somebody's telling me to do something with a tilt or my breathing or where I need to position something, and I'm hearing it. Like Drea will say it 7 times. She'll be like, push your shoulders up, push your shoulders up. And I feel like I am. And then she's like, no. And I'm like, you got to come do it. And she has to come and like show me what she's talking about. And that's, you can't really put a price tag on that, because virtually you can tell me to do something and we can get it close. But Drea is very like particular and wants things done and done correctly. And then you're going to hold it for an inordinate amount of time until you feel like you're going to fall out. So, I mean, that helped me a ton. And it helped with my confidence to going out there. Because once you've like embarrassed yourself, like mortified yourself, like up there, each time you get up, it's there in the back of your head, like, oh God, I hope it's not like that first one. But the more comfortable I got with learning the posing, feeling more comfortable, that helped a ton with that stage fright and kind of like the, oh, no.
Yeah, I think everybody has the experience that first time, because you're going out there and you, especially if you don't know the whole criteria and details and pose and everything, you're going out there. It's like throwing the bath water with the baby, you know. And that's
it was so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you understand it and you learn, and you have people like Andrea and also Christina. You know, Christina is going to move up down to wellness. You know,
I know. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I mean, she needs a lot more time because she's put on a lot of size and density over the years, but she could probably do well, you know. Also, she mentioned Nellie Wade Wolf. I had Nellie on here before.
Yeah,
you know, she's amazing lady.
Very nice woman too.
Yeah, here she is with Jake Wood, the man who say wins by the yo Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help it because I don't know a lot of brothers named Jake, so I got to do my bit.
My brother's name is Jake. Now that I think about it, that is my brother.
Yeah. Well, anytime you say, yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. So, sorry, I'm gonna take a couple.
Go ahead, you do it all. I like it. I'm a weird one too. I mean, I don't think you can survive this long enough.
But that's a good, you have people like that in your corner helping you out.
God,
So when did you decide to do the North Americans? Because I think you did another show before that. That was the USA Championships,
Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, Christina told me to come out and do Vegas, and you know, it was good. It was good in a sense that that was like the first time where I felt like fully comfortable, which is weird because it's a larger show. But with that, I didn't have the nerves. Like I had done so much with the posing, which was for me the most difficult part. Like I was like in talking with Drea and everything, it's like I don't know that there's gonna be many people like it's gonna be bigger, especially at an amateur level. But that's just one component of this, you know what I mean? And when Drea had told me like that posing is the most difficult part of bodybuilding, I thought she was joking. You know what I mean? And I learned the hard way that she was 100% serious. Like that is the hardest part for sure. But it was good. I came in second at that show to Rania. Rania ended up winning that one. And like size wise, I'm heavier. I weigh probably 15 pounds more, a little taller too than most people, but I just am now kind of seeing what people mean when they talk about like the X frame and everything else. There are, I think the two people that I've come behind, their waist is so small, which makes this visual that makes everything else look so much bigger. Their delts, their legs, you know. That right there, I never really understood the optics of, and without understanding or being real good with posing, like the illusion you can make with just modifying the way you're holding your body and where you're positioning things that make you look exponentially bigger. You know, there's a lot of finesse to posing and presenting your size and structure. So it's still a learning thing. Like there's, like I said, I've only been posing for probably like a little over a year. So there's still a lot to learn. I think the thing that I have going for me is just my size. I'm just a very big person. But learning these little intricacies and different ways to always improve, I do find that appealing about the sport. Like you're never done. It can always be better.
It's like anything. It's a sport where you evolution, we evolve, we change.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you talk about the small weight. You look good example. Somebody, I'll pull these pictures up, and you look at these three ladies who are top in the sport. You have Sharonica Hinton. She's also in women's physique. You have someone like Natalia Coelho. You have someone like
I
Sarah
love
Vegas.
that Natalia one. I was so happy to see that. I think her physique is incredible.
Yeah, and it's a particular look that where she has that smaller waist, the broader shoulders,
Big quads,
big
yes.
quads. I think the vision of physique has evolved over years, where it's looking close to women's bodybuilding, and when it first kind of started out, and then you look at people like Andrea and Ashley Jones, and also, one lady who I'm a fan of, Angela Yo. That's also another level.
Oh yeah, she's in Toledo. She's close by too.
Yeah. I mean, she can do
She's
it well.
great.
Yeah, she can do well this year. Now I think she's going to try to requalify because, now she's no longer in the top three. She's been number 2 to Andrea for the past 3 years.
I know.
Yeah. Now
well, except at Phoenix, the one time she got it.
I was kind of broken heart because that's
I mean, like it's like, but I mean, I think that actually benefited Drea because I don't know if I'm the only one. I doubt that, but in my opinion, and I told her, like, I don't know how it's possible, but I think this year was actually the most impressive I've seen her with her physique on stage. I mean, the gap just seemed to like explode on stage with her this year. I think it pushed her. I think Angie's pushed her. And I remember Drea saying, she was like, I work with women in our division all the time. Like, I don't care that we compete against each other. She was like, I work with Angie, you know, and we are always right there. I think that what happened in the Rise of Phoenix, I think that's why she was as good as she was this year. This year was whew.
Yeah, because she came back and got a title back. You know, it's changed the aspect of the show. It's no longer the Women's Bodybuilding World Championship. It's now Olympic. It's now a regular Olympic qualifier. You know, I actually, this is a true story. When I went to my first bodybuilding show, it's back in 2022, and I went to Savannah because it's a little closer to where I stayed. You know, I wanted to go.
Oh,
there.
In Georgia,
Yeah, and she was there guest posing, and it was maybe a good 3 weeks from the Rising that year, and it was her and Mona Persley. Mona looked like she could have competed at that show where she was conditioned. Angie was a little bit softer, but then someone told me, said, George, and these people that know her said, George, when she's on, she's on. So,
oh God, yeah, Ange. Oh,
so
and I'm telling you, she's one of my favorite like posers because it's not like just a. And that's not how Drea and Christina was always like, you're not like the girly, like, it's like Drea says, you have no grace, you have no flow. So you're gonna have to make these things your own in your own way. And I think Angie kind of like embodies that to a T. She has made her posing and the way her just presence, how strong and intense, like, and how artistic, really, she makes it an art, and I really like that. I really like the way she poses.
that's pretty good. So, folks, when we get Leah here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump to her social media for a bit. You want to check her out. The links in the description of this live. You can check her out. You can follow her. You reach out to her in genuine interest. But guys, I know you guys out there because I'm one of you. I'm gonna have to tell you my crime, Leah. I'm a muscle per smell. I just find you ladies a toxin. Your muscles and everything excite me. But you guys out there who are, please, guys, under no circumstances, no the pics. Stop it. Don't do it. Why? No one want to see your Tom Thumb.
You know what? I have not, thank God, got any since being on social media with this, but I was shocked by how many men it was in the messages and the comments. I'm like, you know, you would think like this is a sport that a lot of men would not find appealing, and it was so shocking to me. I was like, you know, in the gym, that makes sense to me because that's an environment where we're all trying to do the same thing, and you can give somebody their flowers. You can be like, oh, you know, that's incredible, and we all get along and support each other in like a gym setting and competing too. But like, I was shocked by how many men follow women's bodybuilding. I was like, okay, but you know, I can't be mad about it. Like, we need all the support we can get. But I was like, I did not realize that.
Well, like this has to say, like, because it's such a fringe sport, and
Yes.
you're taking the female bodybuilder and changing it from what is typically more soft and feminine to these women be big muscles, and you know, it's just something. Some men, it's a toxic. Like I remember when I got online when I was younger, and I went to this message board, and it was dedicated to women's bodybuilder fans. And I was my first time, one of the I think he was one of the webmaster or somebody said, "Hey kid, welcome to the message board. You know, you new here?" So yeah, your family in bodybuilding? So, yeah, I'm a fan. I like the ladies. Say, well, it's an old Smo saying. Say, what's the Smo saying? It says, when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. So you know,
No, I'm telling you, like it's cool though because there. I don't want to say it's a genderless like sport, but a lot of the bodybuilders that I follow and like am a big fan of are primarily men. Like because it's freakish. Like I can't imagine being 300 something pounds and in that condition. Like it's crazy. So I can understand like the captivation with it, because it's not something you see usually.
Yeah, even the men, they are very sexualized too. So folks who jump into her social media, her IG, want to check out the link in the description of the live. So here she is. And this is from your pictures from here from, I think this is one of your shows here. Pull this up.
Yeah, they run the gamut. There's kind of stuff from the beginning. Yep, that's the regional one I did to qualify for.
And here it is. And this is from North Americans. What is that feeling like being there? Because I mean, it's right there in Pittsburgh, which is kind of like the seat for the NPC and IFBB. It's probably one of the biggest shows for nationals.
Oh my God, I love Pittsburgh. I did not foresee that coming, because I don't know, like I grew up in Ohio and then in Michigan. So you hear things about certain cities like, oh, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, they're dumb. Pittsburgh is wonderful. I loved it. And the people are so nice there, like so nice. And that show, I haven't competed at a ton of shows, but that show right there was so well orchestrated and put on. Everything was right on time. The lighting was beautiful. Everything was done just so professionally. And it was just like, it was a well-oiled machine. That show was great. I would definitely tell anybody as a spectator or a competitor to check Pittsburgh out. That was a great one.
Yeah, because I know a lady, she actually got a pro card there. We did an interview a while back. Both me and her husband's a pro. She was there. She got a pro card. And then she did the World Master Championships the next day because she signed up. Here's a video she did. This is how I found out about her, from this video here. This is from NBC News Online. We should get an interview.
Yeah.
Everybody, Josh here with Forged by Iron for NBC News Online at the 2025 North Americans with your 35 and over women's bodybuilding champion and new IFBB pro,
Leah Jeffire.
Okay, so I got to know, how long have you been chasing that pro card?
You know what? I think I was just born like with freakish genetics, because I've only been lifting weights for like 4 years. I don't even have a gym membership. I train in my apartment fitness center, but like it's been like a year. I got hooked up with Andrea Shaw. She was training out of the same gym I was before it closed.
At your apartment complex?
No. This is a pre-apartment complex. When our gym closed, I'm sure she moved on to nicer facilities. I went to my apartment, but she helps with my posing. Shout out Christina Mendoza. She does my posing virtually. So once I learned to posing, I think it became. But I had to diet down from 250, so it was a year.
So okay, so you expect all of our viewers to believe that you built this in an apartment complex?
Yeah.
No excuses.
They're very familiar.
There's no excuses.
No.
So what is the meal that you're going to be chasing tonight?
Oh my God. I don't even, this is the only time I'm ever going to say this after a show. I felt so ill after I ate, after the morning.
Oh, no.
Right now I'm still like, well, no thanks. No.
So what's the meal going to be tomorrow?
Ice cream.
Like a gallon?
Family-sized tub.
32 scoops?
I'll be in the hospital. I don't care.
Is there anybody else you want to give a shout out to? I know we know our girl Drea, but
Drea, Christina Mendoza, Chad Caudell, who helps me out back home. He's got a little monkey, wears a diaper. You can't pick a better coach than that as a friend to help you, you know what I mean? He's a men's physique coach.
So what's next?
Year off, get bigger, maybe get a gym membership.
It might help.
You know, no, I got this card, so they might let me in somewhere. Put on some size, I'm 5'8", so I'm a little tall for, I mean, at 177, I still don't look as big as sometimes people that are shorter. So I know it's a curve that has to be met. So I've been told mid-back, delts, and I guess get surgery on my waist, because I don't think I can get any smaller, or I gotta get these quads bigger somehow.
Well, you look fantastic. Congratulations. So, Josh with Forged by Iron.
Josh, Leah.
We're out.
You were so happy. What was that feeling like when they told you officially you became an IFBB pro?
Oh yeah, what a relief. And then it was so nice. My mother came to Pittsburgh. She drove there from North Carolina. So that was a haul. And my mom got to see me. So that was so nice. And then my partner surprised me. I did not. She is a makeup artist. It has her own lash company and things. Thank God for her, because I wouldn't look presentable up there if not. But I'm so grateful she's able to. Yes, she's able to do all my makeup, lashes. She does my nails, everything. She's a wizard with that stuff. So, yep, that's my brother. He's in the Army Rangers. He's been stationed overseas. He's pretty high-ranking officer. He's a major. So he's been overseas for a while. He was able to get leave to fly over from England and come to see me in Vegas. So that was so cool. It's crazy how much my family has jumped on this whole train of the bodybuilding. They love it. I mean, I knew my dad kind of would be into it because with his wrestling and everything. My brother wrestled in college, has wrestled all over the place. So, I mean, we're a pretty athletic family. My mom ran track and played soccer. So, yeah, I mean, they love this, though. They love coming to the competitions. So it's cool.
I think it's good, important that you have support from your family and friends, because I've known somebody who's told me that, you know, their family ain't like it because they'd be worried about, especially the parents be worried about that you get too big, you won't be as feminine anymore. Or it's always one thing about bodybuilding, it's always going to get this finger pointed because of use of performance enhancers from steroids to pads.
Mm-hmm.
But with my discussions with a lot of you ladies is that that's not the thing that builds the muscle. It's the work, it's the diet, it's the consistency and the discipline. You know, all that thing does, those things does help you recover better, because, you know, it takes a lot of time to, especially if you build the body.
Yes, it rips your body, boy. It is really nice having that support because and thank God my mother had such bigger problems than the way I looked her my size, like hoping that I didn't die or had a roof over my head. So she's all for it. She loves it. That I'm doing something where I'm taking care of myself, my mind, my body. You have to, like you said, you have to be so disciplined and regimented with it. And I think it was hard in the beginning because it's hard to be like, look, I am so tired and feel so horrendous. Like, I can't go to dinner. I can't go to this party or family function or this or that. Like, I think that was difficult in the beginning, but the more I kept competing and people saw like how much it meant to me and how much it helped me, you know, in other areas as well. I think this translates across the board in so many ways. If you are taking care of your mind, your body, you are constantly tuned in, dialed in. This is how I feel best. This is how I operate best. Like learning those things about yourself, it helps you in every area of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think a lot of ladies found the sport which helped them during like hard times, like
Absolutely.
you know, dealing like especially dealing with overweight or you know dealing with addiction like you were dealing with. You know, it's something, even though it's a extreme sport, it kind of helps, you know, maybe rebuild the person that you were before to people to your person you are now. Here she is with my girlfriend Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea. That's funny too, because you showed that video and Josh, he was like, you better tell Drea that her favorite ginger says hello. He's a big fan of Drea's too. Yeah, it's funny. If you mention Drea, she might as well be like the president with our sport. Because I'm telling you, you say Drea's name and people know, like that's the queen. That's the top of the pile right there.
Well, it's kind of like she's like Candyman. You see her name about 3 times.
You don't want her to show up.
Drea. But, yeah, but I think that's the thing is that you have those people in your corner. Like you talk about your dad. Your dad's still around?
Yeah, he is. He just stopped coaching, and he's mid-60s, still in good shape though. I mean, he was a tank though. I remember because as a kid, you know, seeing him and he's ripped and these other guys that were wrestling for him were just built like tanks. And I remember, I might not have seen like bodybuilding magazines like some people when they're kids, they say, I saw this magazine, but I saw freakish athletes like at a very young age. And I remember being like, oh yeah, I want to be like that someday. You know, it was something that I was exposed to and around at a very young age. So yeah, I've gone with him as a kid to Sweden, Finland, Denmark while he was coaching. My brother's been with him to Belarus, Russia with his wrestling. He's coached all over the world. He just got inducted into the NCAA Hall of Fame for wrestling as a coach down in Ohio. He won a national championship with the University of Finland. It was NAIA when he started that program. They didn't even have a program, and he started it. And he was smart. He was kind of ahead of the curve. He got world medalists from Abkhazia, Cuba, to come over, and he got them their citizenship and all their paperwork straight so they could compete on his team. And I mean, yeah, they won a national championship. So he's done some things. He's had guys go on wrestle D1, wrestle for world teams, and be at world team trials and things like that. He's done a lot for that sport. So
that's pretty good, because you know what? From him, you learned something about the discipline and the commitment we get to a sport. Like with me, why I got to bodybuilding was my brother. He used to play football here in our hometown, and you know his nickname was He-Man. My brother James, we call him He-Man. And we were kids. Used to lift weights in the backyard. We used to lift with him. You know, he was a pretty big dude. I played football a couple of years when I was younger. I wasn't as good as him, but you know, and he used to always get the muscle max. Like, you know, and back then, you know, Schwarzenegger was just retiring. You had Lee Haney, you had Frank Colombo, Samir Banut, Lee Labrada, those guys. And then
Lee Labrada, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I was getting to my teenage years, and then I saw people like Corey Everson and Laura Craven.
Yeah, the women.
Those are the ones that kind of, you know, kind of changed my mind and brought me to another level.
Yeah.
Leah, before I leave you, I'll tell you something. You are beautiful. I'm sorry about him. I try to keep him controlled, but he comes out every night. Oh, we have here a shout to my man, Josh Simpkins, popping in here. He says, happy Saturday, George and Leah. Thank you, brother. Appreciate
you too.
Shout out to my man, KL the Wanderer. He also does content on bodybuilding. He's more of a fan of
cool, yeah.
He also says, hey, George and Leah. How you doing, brother? So, and that's the thing is, that's the important part about the sport is finding where you want to grow or how you want to be, because it's so much involved in it, the training, the dieting. Who's your coach? Because you said, you know, you were working with this guy you talked about earlier.
Yeah, this is a funny story too. When we were kids in Belleville, I met, he's an IFBB pro in men's physique. He's a big man. I don't know how that size is the smallest with men. I mean, he's 6'2". I don't even know how much he weighs. He's a big man, but he married one of my family, and her family were very close. My brother played soccer with her and her sister, and their dad was the coach. And then their brother wrestled with my dad. So we were very close as a family. She ended up getting married to Chad. And I just was seeing something. I don't know if it was Tiffany or her sister was posting about congratulations, Chad. I'm like, oh, you got, they were like, yeah, he coaches people too. I was like, I mean, I have no coach. I can't, I don't have like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars to pay for coaching. He still to this day charges me $150 a month. And a lot of months he doesn't even ask for it because he's just like, I believe that you could go really far with this. He's a very, very good good, solid person. That whole family was. So I had a good feeling that he would be too, but just a nice man. And he's only like 45-minute drive from me. So, I mean, he has been, that whole family has been so supportive. And through this sport, like reconnecting with people that I haven't talked to or seen since I was a kid, and just all the love and support that you just don't see coming. It's really, like you said, it's a community. It's a real tight, supportive community. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's good because you know what, you need that support because this is a tough sport. This sport can be mentally, emotionally, financially draining. It could take a lot for anybody, especially again for a woman, because society views this. Women, you shouldn't have muscles for a woman. You shouldn't be because
Right.
everyday guy is saying like, this chick, she's too buff, she's too big. Yeah, are you a dude? You're trying to be yeah. But here's the thing is, you're an athlete and you had a very athletic background, and this is something you found as a passion. Bodybuilding is a passion. We have here a comment from my man KL. He says this. He says, Leah, your arms are big. You look like you could flip over a car.
Yeah, no, they are pretty substantial. I think they're like 17 something when I'm not all the way down. I would assume they are a little smaller when I get some of the water and weight off, but actually that was one of the way my dad would make my brother and I train. He would put this stick shift car he had in neutral in this big school parking lot. We would have to push it back and forth. This old Toyota Corolla. He wouldn't let us use machines. He didn't want it to stunt our growth when we were younger. And we're both very big, so he might have been onto something. But we would have to take a sledgehammer and go in the sand pit and then flip the big tires, the huge tires over, push the car. He would take jugs of milk, fill them with cement, and put them on ropes. He would make these like crazy things for us to do, but it was smart though. It was smart because he, like I said, he trained all over the world, and in a lot of these places, they don't have gyms with all these machines. They just don't. In Russia and Cuba, like you had each other. They were lifting each other, putting each other on their backs, sitting on each other, doing push. Like you had to do what you do. I mean, he told me in Russia, they would go to this river and these huge stones. They would throw them, and then they'd have to go into the water, get another, throw it back. Like they had to figure out a way. And he kind of let us know it doesn't matter what you have or have access to. Like I see some of these people with all these sponsors and gyms, and they get all this stuff, and it's like, I got my pro card and I didn't even have a gym membership. I just had my apartment fitness center with very few machines. You know, it doesn't require what some people think it does. Like you said, a lot of it's mental. It's just staying consistent and disciplined and pushing yourself. You don't necessarily need all this stuff to do that.
So it made me think about Rocky IV. When you remember Rocky IV,
Mhm.
when it go to Russia and out there and Rocky's chopping wood, he's pulling
Yes.
pulling up the carts, Drago. So I mean, that's really old school training. Shout out to my man here, KL. He says, why you didn't compete in strong man?
Oh, I did. I did a strongman competition, and I was shocked. I thought I would be like the biggest one in my size category. It's broke down into weights and stuff too. I was the smallest in mine, and I won every event though. I mean, I have a lot of strength, but what I found was at that size, things started hurting a lot. And when you're lifting really heavy frequently, the amount of stress that puts on everything, your joints. And I partially tore a labrum and just had everything just started to hurt. So I was like, I don't know if this is going to be it for me.
Yeah, I know quite a few ladies who were either powerlifting.
Powerlifting, yep.
strong women, some even CrossFit that's transitioned to bodybuilding because it's not a lot of stress on your body. A lady I know, she's recently got surgery. Shout out to Kim. I hope she's doing well. She recently got surgery because she had her whole bicep had to be repaired and fixed. She had some surgery. Yeah, she had her shoulder had to be worked on a while back. And I can tell you the truth. Yeah, I got stuff like from years of working because I used to hold cool jobs and played football. I got 2 bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I got issue with shoulder, and also I have a pacemaker. I had a heart attack when I was like not even 40 yet. But to strive through those physical limitations and to train and to find your path in sport, you got to respect that. Here, shout to my man KL. He says, "Yeah, that's too much, even for a woman." Yeah, because the thing is, bodybuilding, it's always been perceived as a man's thing. Because like one thing is like I say this quite often, and I'm always going to say this: the men's division, if you look at it, especially money wise, if you know the pimping game, you probably know it. They're the bottom bitch. They're the bottom bitch. There's the ones that always get attention and money. All they got to do is put on a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts, and that's it. But you ladies, you have to have this presentation. Both muscularity and femininity.
Yes. If you look at the posing from like the solo routines, the difference in what goes into the choreography and thing on one side and then the other, it's really different. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's the cost too, because even though guys have their expenses, they still have to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts, but they do have the expenses of food. But y'all ladies, show days expensive. Like you say, your girlfriend, she came in.
Oh yeah, God, those suits. Thank God. Shout out to Flexibella Couture. Christina put me onto her. She does amazing work, but she does it so that you're not paying thousands of dollars for a suit, and it still looks just as good. But like, I was blown away by the expenses of some of these things. Yeah, they want us to empty all pockets on our side. Yeah.
And the thing is that it's an expense, especially as an amateur, because you have to pay not just the cost of competing, the travel, food. Good thing that your friend who's your coach doesn't charge you arm and leg to train you.
Correct.
But that's one thing I wish there was more opportunities, especially financially wise, because now you're IFBB Pro. Now you have to, start at a new level. So you said you're planning going to take next year off, and you decided to work on your growth and all the other stuff that so you can maybe make your pro debut.
Correct. Yeah. I was considering maybe doing something at the end of this upcoming year, but he was pretty adamant that he wants to have 3 cycles of putting size on and then taking a lot of the excess off before we get into like a full prep for a competition. So it might be early the next year, but I'm not sure yet because, like I said, size-wise, I'm there close. I don't know that I need to take a ton of time off and put on a bunch of size. It's more of the like finer fine-tuning, like putting size on in a really strategic way so it's going to make things pop and look like get that whole X frame together. It's not just size in general. I mean, I weigh in pretty heavy at that, even in the bodybuilding division. So it's just getting smarter, I guess, with how I go about doing things, making sure I'm really focused on what I need to improve on. So yeah, I don't know. I still don't know yet. I'm not gonna say I won't do one at the end of next year, but for now, we were thinking maybe something early on, like Toronto or Chicago, because it's not a big distance for me to go from Detroit. That was hard going all the way to Vegas from Detroit. That was really hard. Like you think about it, it's 12 hours from the time I leave my house to the time I get to the airport, go through all that nightmare, get on a plane. You're seated for 3.5 hours. Get off the plane, get your stuff, get a car, get to where you're going. You're talking about 12 hours of travel. That does some damage on the body when you're already in a real fragile state. So jumping in my car and driving 5 hours to Pittsburgh. Oh my God, that was a blessing, night and day.
Yeah, because that could be a lot of stress, especially when especially in your peak week, because right now you're trying to keep from holding water because you want the conditioning. You want to look presentable when you're on stage. And Chicago's a pretty good show because you're not too far from Chicago. There's also Toronto. You said too bad. This year they decided to drop women's bodybuilding from the New York Pro. That would have been
I had heard that they were gonna have it at the Arnold, which would have been really nice because Columbus. But then they had a ton of divisions, but not women's.
Here's the story of this one. Years ago, this has been about a little over nearly 15 years ago. They used to have it was a show called the Miss International. Now it's the Miss International is now
in Chicago, right?
Yeah, it's a pro qualifier now, but it used to be Olympia qualifier. People like Iris Kyle,
Iris,
King, Vicky Gates, multiple time champions. Arnold dropped it from his show, from the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. Actually, the Miss International predates the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic by a good 3 or 4 years before they had it.
I remember Christina telling me about that one.
Because that's where Christina competed and got her.
That's what Andrea said. She was like, "That's why she wants you to do that one. That's where she got her thing."
Yeah. So they decided to, drop it, and then Arnold, like I said, as a kid, I would watch his movies. I don't know the Terminator. That's not a tool, man. Get to the chopper. But then he's not a fan of y'all wearing muscle. He was it just a couple years ago. He dropped figure from his show. A few years before that, he dropped physique from his show. Now,
I don't understand that. Yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff. He said that no one really comes to watch the women, but he still has it in the amateur part. But the problem is, not a lot of women want to get ready that early for the year, so that's why we use shows like the USA's or the Nationals or the Atlanta,
Texas.
One of those shows that because there's also I think the next week, this following week, is going to be the USA's Masters. I know a couple of ladies are competing there to get pro cards, and then the Nationals are the couple of weeks after that. And it's a lot of politics. Women bodybuilding was almost...
I did not realize that either. Now you don't ever question a judge's decision or speak about it. You don't I didn't know any of this. I'm like, I had no idea. I didn't realize that either. That was another one. Good point.
Well, this is what I learned a long time ago. And for my favorite movie, Batman Begins, when Ra's al Ghul is teaching Bruce Wayne how to fight, Henry Carter says, be aware of surroundings all the time, young Master Wayne. Never give sure footing for a killing blow. And that's why, and when I talk to people ladies who I know, and people I know, and they tell me that the judging is kind of subjective now. If you look at
subjective,
If you look at it now, if you look at women now who look like they should be doing physique, women who should be doing women's bodybuilding, you've seen competitors who look like they don't belong in the division because, I was talking to one girl who's a figure competitor. They want you to be more full, more bigger. But then if you get too big, when you think you'd be closer to physique, or if you tell that to a physique competitor, when you be close to women's bodybuilding, the thing is, the criteria keeps changing. If you look at, again, Natalia looks like she could be women's bodybuilder. Maybe she's even bigger than someone like maybe Iris Kyle when she was competing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But shout out to Natalia now that you say that, because I remember beyond Drea, that was the only women's competitor that had posted anything. She actually found me, I don't know how, when I was big up at like 250 and commented on my Instagram stuff and like, you're doing great and all. So I was like, oh my God, why would this woman even know who I am? But she's just that's very nice. But I was shocked by that too, like with the women. I don't know if it's the same with the men, though you're competing against one another or for this or that. Everyone, for the most part, that I've encountered is just so incredibly supportive. Like it's really nice.
You know, where like I said, I respect Natalia. I'm not a big fan of hers, but she has been commenting on some stuff I posted, even been
Yeah.
on a couple of my live streams. Not a big fan, but I do respect her passion for sport. Just this weekend, well, actually today, this morning, today she was helping. I think she's one of the promoters for a show in Brazil. It's got
Oh, cool.
you got men's physique and women's physique for that show. Shout out to Nala Silva, she won her title there, and she's really become ambassador. Sarah, she also been ambassador for the division. Where
Andrea,
Andrea,
for the sport. Yep.
We need women like that to really step up and give these divisions a fighting chance, the opportunity, and also people need to get beyond their prejudice of women with muscle, because y'all are athletes, y'all are women, y'all are wives, your mothers, your sisters and your aunts, your cousins. You found this sport because it was something to help you deal with stuff you were going through with your life. And it kind of, in a way, it kind of saved your life, because you know what?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So this is a question to ask you. Like, what is that when you're in the gym, and especially in the gym in your apartment building? I gotta bust your balls in that one. But what is that training? What's that workout you say? I love doing it. It's my favorite. And I want to say, shit, I don't want to do this today.
Oh God. It does vary. I will say that because I used to love training legs. And then something, I don't know what happened, if it was a lactic acid thing or something, but I would get so nauseous on leg day at a certain point. I love doing my legs. My legs are big, but like at a certain point I was like, not want to do legs. I do not want to do legs, but I do love legs, but I think my favorite, it's still got to be pull. I love a good pull day. And like I said, I do have a gym membership now. I will say that, but I actually like when you're limited with what you're using. I almost find like the more options and machines and things that are there, the more you can get kind of sidetracked from what you were intending on doing. It's like, well, wait, I want to do this. And then you kind of just scatter yourself. But even with just having cables, a lat pull down machine, there was a Smith machine, some standard machines, there was a preacher curl machine and things like that. But you can get so creative with your grips. Like a lot of times what I'll do is holds. So when I'm coming down, hold, real slow negatives, like just really make it hurt. And then, like I said, changing your grips and things like that. Christina blew my mind, I will say. She was like, a lot of you people that come from powerlifting and strongman backgrounds, with bodybuilding, you just assume, I guess, because of the size, that it's all weight bound. Like you have to be increasing your numbers all the time. She was like, that's not what bodybuilding is. That blew my mind. She was like, you need to reduce your weight and start really focusing on where you're pulling or pushing from, like with your lats coming across and down and holding. She was like, drop the weight and start doing individuals, and then you're done. But like really concentrate on where you're pulling and holding. And once I started doing that, like making those adjustments, I'm telling you what, like that was a big period of growth for me, especially in areas I was having difficulties with isolating or getting a lot of feeling, like connection. I could not even feel that was where I was pulling from. Probably because I wasn't. So yeah, that blew my mind. But then things started to kind of make sense after that.
That's the thing. There's so many different factors when it comes to training.
Oh my God,
yeah. Some people say train heavy, but then you want to train for longevity. You want to be able to make it through the day. And leg day is often everybody. I have a few ladies who told me they love leg day. I call them sick freaks. You're massive,
especially women. Yeah, it's a big leg driven sport. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at division like wellness. That's mostly a leg day division. You might as well
And
say.
that's why I am excited to see Christina do it, because her legs are enormous.
Yeah, she has crazy quads. I mean,
My God.
as a bodybuilding fan, I'm kind of like for her,
Yeah.
but I understand because she didn't do as well in her last couple of shows. I mean, I think everybody finds that division that works for. I think if Wellness came in maybe a few years earlier, I think she probably would have been good in it. But she has earned 2 Olympic qualifications.
Yes.
Bodybuilder, shout out to that. It's tough, especially for anybody to get to that level, especially someone like Andrea, especially someone like Ashley, someone like Christina. The work and the time got put into it, and so not much is about motivation; it's about discipline, understanding the factors. Like get up in the morning, your girl fix your meals and stuff, or you do all your everything yourself.
I don't know that she even has ever cooked her own meal. She DoorDashes everything. I do cook because my mom and my dad, they worked all the time, and my grandparents had us a lot of time. But when they passed, when I was 11, like if you didn't figure out how to do these things, laundry, cooking, like you're going to be waiting a long time for them to get done, or it was cereal, So yeah, I learned how to cook. So I do all my preps. Yep.
That's good. That's smart because that's an important part of the process of bodybuilding is your diet. I would say that makes like maybe 40% of the kitchen become 40% of what you bring in. It's tough when everybody else, she's door dashing, she's getting McDonald's, something like that. And then
it's brutal at a certain point. You're like, don't eat anything in front of me. Go in the bathroom and close the door. Yeah.
Go outside in the cold and the wind.
Yeah, go in your car and drive down the block.
Because it's a temptation. Because I've talked to ladies say like that's one thing about this sport. It changes relationships because you can't do like go out and go to the especially when you're dealing with your dick, because you can't go to a bar too often. You can't drink. When family get-togethers happen and they're cooking,
holidays, like you were just talking about Thanksgiving. I don't know how many Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. It was like chicken, sweet potatoes. That's what you're eating. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing that is a discipline to control yourself. I know, especially doing your interview, you say like you wanted you got 6 feet, but you one thing you wanted the next day was ice cream.
That will always be the thing that drives me. Like once this is done, I'm getting at least a half gallon. I mean, like you're saying, like a lot of like people that deal with addictive personalities, or if it's a self-control or impulse thing, whatever it is, but like when you do things in excess, like across the board, it's the same, like you said, with eating too. Like I gained in 3 days after Vegas 13 pounds in 3 days. Yeah, I put on 30 pounds in just over a month after Pittsburgh. So like when I'm eating, I eat a ton. It's hard to kind of curtail that or reel it in. Like, okay, like you're already at 200 pounds. Like I've kind of leveled out at 200 now, but it's like, it's very easy for me to put it on. It's hard for me to take it off.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people are different.
Yeah, I know it's one thing. Like I'm much older. I'm going to be 51 next Wednesday, and I put on this weight. Most of it from over years. I working, doing this, doing that, not taking care of myself. And then I was taking care of my mom for a good, like 6 or 7 years. And if you ever know somebody, especially a family member who's been sick and you're taking care of, food is seen as a comfort, especially when you're stressed. But then one day, it was a little bit after my mom's funeral, my sister took a picture of me sitting down eating. And I looked at myself, I said, wow, I've gotten really big. I said, Mr. McCarthy, you are
just happens so quick. It does.
Yeah, I was just at 500 pounds. And then I started doing little things here and there. Like, change my. I'm not perfect because, like I said, today I had a ham and cheese sub. So
None of us are. Don't let anybody lie to you, George. Nobody's doing it perfect out here.
But I'm getting a little better. Right now, I'm a little over 400. I'm just
good. Yeah, congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah, I'm still have to do some things like my knees kind of hold me a bit. I just but I'm my nephew told me one day, hey, if you're not doing anything, hey, come out with me to the gym. I said, yeah, I was going to the gym for a good while. Then I sat back. I got sick one day, and I wanted to go back, but then my car broke down, and then I just
oh like yeah, when it rains, it pours. It's like that sometimes.
Yeah, and thing is, sometimes it's not much about motivation, it's about discipline. Yeah, that's one thing I need to work on is my discipline.
Yeah, and you know what? Like because I didn't understand a lot of these things, like discipline, motivation. I understood the terminology, but I'm like, what does that actually comprise? Like, what are these things in like a working sense? What does it look like? I understand the definition, but like in practice, what does that mean? So like looking into a lot of that, and I read a lot. So like looking into people that are disciplined and how they do things. There's this book, it was really good. What is it? Atomic Habits. It's a good one. And he talks about like, he was an athlete and competed in college and whatnot. And he breaks it down into systems. There has to be rewards and consequences, and you have to be mindful of those. But he talks about habit stacking. Like, once I wake up and do this, I do that. What you can't just say I'm going to do this and it be open-ended. It makes it too easy to be like, oh, I'll do it later, and it never gets done. I knew that about myself. Like, that's exactly what I would do. So you kind of have to, like you're saying, the discipline and break it down to like a level of, once I do this, I do this. Follow it with this. Like, and do it in spurts. I know a lot of people, they'll work or do something for 2 hours. In 2 hours, they're doing something else. Like, because you can get stuck. Like you're saying, you feel like shit, or you're tired, or everything hurts. You don't want to do anything. So if you know that after you do this, you're going to do this, and then you're done. I had a therapist who was really helpful too. She was like, the hardest part is that first step. She was like, I know I have to wash these dishes, but there's so many damn dishes, and I got this child running around and work, like, and I'm like, I can't do this. She was like, if I tell myself, all you have to do is go in there and put one utensil in the dishwasher. That's all you have to do. Then it seems manageable. And once you do it, it's like, well, I'm already here. I'll just do, and then it's done by the next time you think about it. So a lot of the times I would have to tell myself, I am just going to get in my car and drive to the gym. Now, once I'm there, it's like, you just go, I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish everything that's on this sheet that I want to do, or the numbers, but I'm going to at least go and try. You know what I'm saying? That made things a lot. I had to really teach myself all these things because, I've lived like an animal out there. I had no real idea how to function, even as a human being, how to pay a bill, how to do this, how to maintain or even get hired at a job. Like, I had no idea how to do any of that stuff. So it was a big learning curve. But like I said, a lot of the things I learned in the sport kind of translated into other areas in my life and kind of helped me understand how to do things.
Yeah, I know, like I said, I learned a lot from my mother. She taught me things I didn't know as an adult, but things I learned as a man. I learned from my older brother, my uncles, and my grandfather. My father was in and out of my life for a long time.
Yeah,
and that thing is, it's those things that we learn help us prepare for what's going on there in the world.
Yep.
And it can be tough. That thing is anything worth having is never going to be easy.
Correct.
Especially this sport where I've talked to ladies tell me, to George, for me, it's not like a race. It's
no.
It's about taking the time for training and dieting and everything else, and also working on my aspects. Like, one thing I noticed about you have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah. Oh, I most certainly do. Yes. Yeah.
And I think sometimes I'm not a big fan of tattoos. I don't have any of my own, but I understand that I think it's about art. But then sometimes I think some judges are kind of prejudiced when it comes down to it. But now I think they're a little more open to it
Well, it
now.
does. I didn't realize it, but you're right. It does make it more difficult, especially dependent on how you're oiled, where you're positioned, and the lighting to see the cuts and structure and the conditioning, as opposed to if they weren't there. There's a point there, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think some judges are now they can look past it as long as they can see if it's not too heavy, too deep a color, where you can see the details, you see the striations, you see the overall vascularity, the graininess in the muscle.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I said again, that's your choice as to why you have them. Like, which one your favorite you have on you?
Oh my God, mine are a lot of them are so weird and so stupid. Favorite. My partner just said, "Oh God."
Where is she? Can she come in? Want to come in?
Cass.
What's her name?
Cassie.
Cassie. Come on down, girl. Come on down. Come on down.
She's very shy. She's in there going, "No,
don't be shy. Come on down. Come on down here, girl."
She really doesn't. She's not even really like on social media besides her business for that aspect. Like she's so like anti everything social media. But when I've kind of got them everywhere I've gone. Like I was in Italy for a while I was studying. My background is in fine arts. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in fine arts, painting and photography. Yeah, and I've had shows in New York and things like that. I think the last solo show, or it was in a gallery in New York on the Lower East Side, but it was a window gallery. And I ended up on the second page of the New York Post because a lot of my art involved nudity and different themes. And come to find out, they're in this window, and right across the street is an elementary school. So the parents went crazy. And yeah, so this gallery actually had to come to an agreement with the city. They would close the windows for 20 minutes when the kids were going to school and then open it back up. And they do the same thing when the school would let out. So like, yeah, I've gotten them everywhere. You remember Babar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I've had tattoos done kind of like at each stop where I've been living, and depending on where my life was at that point. But I have machines and I do them. I've given my mother a tattoo, my brother, my dad, quite a few. So yeah, we're just kind of a different, weirder family, like in that sense.
Well, I think everybody's family different. No one's the nuclear family anymore. That's out the window.
No, yeah, my family's spread out all over the world now.
Yeah, I grew up, like I said, with 3 older sisters, my older brother, my younger brother, my 2 nephews. You know, we were a family. We stuck together. We supported. We grew up, as you know, I'm from North Carolina. We grew up, sharecropping. My parents were great sharecroppers. Their parents were sharecroppers. Their parents were slaves. And we grew up together in unity. We all played a part. My sister watched us younger kids. Then I got to a point where I was watching my younger brother, my nephews and nieces. I mean, everybody played their role. And talking about that the school where maybe somebody said, I have an issue. My little Johnny has been playing with himself as he saw one of your pictures, and I got a problem with that. But this is something, I don't know if you're interested in it, but as you know, you do photography and art. Maybe do something with some female bodybuilders. I think that's just the one thing. It's just, because one thing again about people's idea of women and muscle is that it's always that prejudice where they talk about how you women try to be manly, trying to say, I'm a man. But it's y'all not men, y'all women. And I think that is something that would be interesting to see, because I remember there's quite a few people have done art with women with muscle, with female bodybuilders, and very artistic, very beautiful. Just like I said again, I think it's a beautiful body.
Yeah.
One of my jobs was I worked with women a lot for a long time. I worked in textiles with women. I worked in a strip club. I've seen different women from different paths, different shapes. And I think something like that be something maybe in the future you might think about doing.
Oh, in a heartbeat. I remember my favorite issue with Sports Illustrated. You remember when they would do, usually it was around like the Olympics, they would do the body issue where everyone was nude, but I mean, it wasn't like everything exposed. They posed very conscientiously so it could be printed, but the men and women, the track athletes, and all the different athletes across the different sports, like these bodies were incredible, incredible. And I remember growing up watching like Gail Devers and these women, these track athletes, their legs. Like I was just blown away by that as a kid. Like it was incredible, you know.
I remember, I think I've seen, they had one time she had Clarissa Shields on there, you know.
Oh yeah, that's a great state of Michigan, Flint, right down the way.
Yeah, and also a former MMA fighter, Amanda Nunes. I mean, I'm not a big man.
She's coming back. She's coming back.
Kayla Harrison, her physique is like, she's almost, you know,
what a monster. Yes,
she's almost like she could look like she could be a figure of a competitor.
She could jump right in, probably close to physique. If she really let it rip. Oh God, yeah. She's ripped, yeah.
Because the training is different, because that's like you being a fighter training is different from like bodybuilding training.
Oh God, yeah.
Fighters have to train for movement, performance, endurance, while bodybuilders are trained for presentation.
The amount of cardio, road work, and the grappling and sparring alone, I mean, you're dripping. Like it is so intensive, that strain on the body, but then you're doing road work. I would have to run 3 miles before training, like, and I don't like cardio now, like with this, but in that sport, they probably eat more than we do just because they burn it so immense amounts. Yeah.
Does your apartment has a pool?
Yes.
Well, do some pool training. That's good, because it doesn't.
That low impact? Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't take much strain, because, you know, I remember, what was that movie with Van Damme? He's training underwater. He's like, you know, and Ali even done it, because it takes.
Oh yeah, there's the famous photo of him.
Yeah, it takes a lot of stress. Water's heavy, but it doesn't put in much stress. Like I know one of you I follow, Helen Trevino, she swims. You know, that's
I love the water too. Absolutely. And you know what? I don't really do a lot of treadmill stuff at all anymore. With that incline, my shins would be on fire. I just kind of transitioned into mostly the stair climber. You know, it's not as difficult on my like legs, my calves and shins especially. Like you're saying, I've had to, and I'll climb hills too, you know, when I'm out with the dog. So yeah, you got to figure it out what works for you, because what somebody swears by, and Dre had a lot of good points with this. She was like, I could tell you exactly what I do. My diet, my nutrition, my rest and recovery, my training splits and protocols, how much I live, how much of everything. And you would still look completely different than me. You know, because what works for somebody, there's no guarantee it's going to work for somebody else. Absolutely not. You kind of got to figure it out. You know, what foods work for you, what exercises, what weights, all of that. It's all very geared to what works for you specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's different. Every individual is different. Everybody finds a thing that works in the process, things that helps them. And again, Andrea is an amazing woman. Here she is right here again. You know, I want to go a few rounds for the champ. I want to go. I mean, I do a lot of sense of holding and bury my head in her chest, but
it'd be all holding. Bring it up.
No, I ain't See, you're gonna get disqualified. I don't care.
You have to understand boxing to understand how exactly spot on what you said is, because I mean, with the holding, you see it more, I feel like, in the bigger weight classes, because obviously moving that much size around, you'll see a lot more holding, but people bitch about it so much.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, I grew up as a boxing fan as a kid.
Yeah,
you know, guys like Sugar Ray. I saw a video with Sugar Ray Leonard. He's like almost 60 years old. He can still move. You know. Then I really got to MMA because, you know, I remember.
Oh, I love MMA.
I remember this is a saying from a boxer: But now B Hop Hopkins says like he called it
Yes.
he called MMA gay sex, but he changed his mind on that. Call it it's not Brazilian, it's BBJ, Brazilian blowjobs.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, boxing as a whole, I do not think are fans of MMA in general, but because I mean it does take a lot of the revenue from, but that is a sport, at least with the men. I know Clarissa Shields has made a point of this so many times. Like they're getting paid like so much money per fight, and then the women are over here like making what the undercard does on some of these for championship fights. It was crazy. And she went in and fought in MMA a couple of times just because they're making so much more money. Like that was, I think she's getting a lot better deal now with some of these things that she has coming up. But with MMA, I mean, that did open up a door for like wrestlers and these other sports that really like after you're done competing collegiately, unless you're going to wrestle for a world or Olympic team, that's it. There is nothing else for you there. There's no professional leagues. There's nothing else. So a lot of these guys that have come from wrestling backgrounds clean up in that sport.
Yeah, good example like
and women.
Khabib, Daniel Cormier. I interviewed her. Her name is Kara Wester. She knows those two gentlemen. She works. She does also training with wrestlers and mixed martial artists. And the thing is, but still, boxing still makes a good chunk of change compared to the MMA fighters because many of those guys, many of those guys can make like think about it. Even if you are maybe the top MMA competitor, you still not gonna make as much as a guy who's maybe mid level boxer. And then this weekend,
not competing, not just off like you're competing. No, absolutely not.
And tonight they're having UFC's having events in New York, UFC 322. One of my favorite
Shevchenko. I can't wait.
The Bullet, my man.
The Bullet.
I think she's gonna win. No offense to Wally Zhang, but I think she's gonna win. We have here shout out to my man, Mr. Fix It, coming through. He says, "Awesome show. Big respect to all the rage, George Page. Thank you, brother." Also, we have here, he says, big shout out to Muscle Queen Leah Frey. Sorry.
You had it there.
Jeffire. So I want to say, I'm sorry.
No, I love this. This has been great. You have a lot of background knowledge and interest in a lot of the same things that I do. This is great.
Well, it's just something, doing this content, I've done even raising MMA, mixed martial arts, women. I'm more a big fan of bodybuilding. And, from this, I learned from talking to you ladies, friendships I've gained from some of you ladies. And you'll tell me things like, some ladies will tell me stuff and they feel comfortable. That's what I learned. When a woman feels comfortable with a man, they'll tell you anything they feel like you want to know. And I told it to my man here, KF, that women, when you feel comfortable with you, they'll tell you anything you feel like you need to know, because you have to make sure that you're not too weird. And even though some ladies, like one time we had a deal live, and it's one lady, she's an OCB competitor, and I did something like my little thing, my little stick, like that. She laughed at it, and he said, why you if I did it'd be weird. I said, no, that's George. When he does it, it might be, there she goes, she's ready. Come on here, girl, say hello.
You gotta come say hi.
Say hi. Say hi. Do you love this woman?
I'm the personal glam squad, okay?
Yeah.
Shopping cart. Can you see
There's
that?
a shopping cart.
Yeah.
Be very upset if you don't give honor to the shopping
Everybody jokes about how horrible my tattoos are.
We'll let you go, Cassie, because she's scared. So this guy here just
Thank you.
Oh, she said she does know how to cook. That's news to me.
I like this. Hey, the one woman that cooked for me was my mom. That was my woman.
I'm telling you.
That was my woman.
That's still my favorite food. When I see my mom.
When she couldn't cook anymore, I remember one time it was Christmas, and I said, "Mom, I'm gonna try to cook a cake." So I cooked 2 cakes, and she said to me, and she ate one of them. She said, "Son, they're not pretty, but they taste good."
But yeah, that's what matters.
Yeah. So that's one thing is, would you ever be interested in being sponsored? Because that's one thing, especially now you're in IFBB pro level. Sponsorship does help cover the cost of your
Oh yeah.
training, anything. I mean, I think that's one thing to help you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I'm so new to this entire process. That is one thing that I have seen though, and that people have told me has been like a huge help because it is incredibly expensive. This, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely, I would be.
yeah, because some ladies, like one thing I talk about is also there's certain sites. As I said again, this sport can be very sexualized, especially for the women. And there's a certain
Oh
site
God, yeah,
called
yeah.
OF, or what they call it, and also
OnlyFans. I was telling Cassie, I was like, there are people that are raking it in on their in the women's body, and like I more power to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it is expensive, and if that's something that you can profit from and you feel comfortable with, absolutely. Like I don't think anybody should be shamed or judged for how they feed themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like in women in general, not just in bodybuilding. Like you say, you worked in strip clubs and things like that. If you are a female that has ever struggled with addiction, like it's a proven fact that in these treatment facilities and in sobriety in general, you see a lot more men than women because women are able to stay out there longer because they're able to get money, more consistently and readily than a lot of men. If they're not working, or if you have to commit very obvious, blatant crimes, you're robbing people and things like that, you spend a lot of time incarcerated. But for women with men that will, like, financially back what they're doing, that's why you see a lot less women going into treatment as men. A lot of the facilities you see about 3/4 are men. It's just a fact. Yeah.
yeah, because as women, as men, it's our job to take care of women. Like we it's part of life. As a man's purpose of life is to battle, breed, and die. That's it. Y'all women are nurturers. You take care of our children. You take care of our home. We do as much for you. And if we have to beg, rob, or steal to get it for you, we will. And that's in women. You have something that we men want.
You see across the board, and it's like whether it is in a strip club, whether it is on an OnlyFans, it's really easy to, I think, judge people and say like, well, your sexuality is something you're monetizing. It's like I think a lot of people, it's like, who cares? Like it's not. A lot of people, I think, either internalize it like, well, I wouldn't do that, so it's wrong, or it's a control thing where it's like, you shouldn't be able to do that or feel comfortable doing that because I don't, so it's, but for me personally, like a lot of the people that I work with, like they are still using, but their decisions are not mine. Their consequences are not mine. When I'm done working with this person, I go home and live my life. It doesn't affect me. So I can't judge how they choose to live their own. I can be there and support them the best that I can, but like, it's not my business. It's not my life to live for me to tell them what they can or can't do, So I think the background that I have and the work that I do makes me a lot more open and tolerant than a lot of other people would be, probably. That if they saw somebody that's living a certain type of way, they'd be like, oh, well, it's like people can't necessarily pick the lot they're given in life or the decisions they make that lead to lasting repercussions, So I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about, but yeah, I know a lot of people have their own feelings about it, but for me personally, like, people make their own choices. I've never been one to be offended by what someone else is doing.
Yeah, you gotta live for yourself. You can't live for nobody else. We
Absolutely.
have a man, Brown Baldy, coming through. He's giving a muscle bicep shot. And I wish I can do this. I wish I can sponsor some ladies. I know a friend of mine, she's working with some people and sponsoring. My friend Eunice Martinez Kitchen, Bad Rap, that want to help some competitors, especially, who are coming up,
Absolutely.
and I see you can check her out. But
Okay,
if
yeah,
I can,
send it to me.
if I can do this is what I would love to do. I say, Miss Jeffire, you have an interesting story. Your life, your addiction, how you battled it. If I could do anything for you, I would like to sponsor you. I have a plan for you to share your stories and also maybe even get people interested in maybe backing you in this competition. We don't want no more than see you grow as an athlete. If we have a way to help you in your process, we are genuinely interested. So let us know what we need from you, what you need from us. I wish I can do something like that, but I'm broke as a joke.
Join the club. You are not you are not alone. Oh my God.
Yeah. I just got my.
But just knowing that how much you care and how much you do for this sport, for us specifically, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's not for nothing. It matters.
Yeah. Well,
it's not even a financial thing. The love and support and the forum and stage that you give for a lot of us, it does matter.
Well, I appreciate it, man. That's why I do this. This was something that helped me while I was taking my mom, but now this is my purpose now, to give y'all ladies a voice. And so my man KL, he does some stuff on y'all ladies too. There's other guys like my man David, he does stuff. There's Female Bodybuilding Channel. There was DJ on the Spot, a couple others here and there. We like to give y'all ladies a voice because everybody's paying attention to like divisions like bikini and wellness. There's a new division come out called, fit model.
Yeah, what is it?
Fit model. I interviewed a couple of ladies who are fit model competitors, but I have nothing against them. I just got issue with their division. That's what I have.
Well, yeah, and they do have a lot of bodies. They have a lot of women competing in those divisions. But for me, like for somebody that had never really been exposed to a lot of this or seen or even understood what the different levels were, I had to ask one of the girls in Vegas when we were out there, because they were running behind while some of the smaller divisions were going. I'm like, what is the criteria with each of these? Like, I did not understand like the difference. Now, wellness, I do understand. Now they have some big wheels, they have legs, but some of the other ones, I'm like, what is the criteria and what is being judged? Because I really don't understand. I don't necessarily even understand my own to a degree, but with these, it was just like I had no idea really what was going on.
Well, fit model supposed to be a throwback to when bikini first came in, and that's what, because they're saying the girls in bikini are getting too big, too muscularly developed.
God, they were real thin. I couldn't believe how thin some of these women were.
But the problem is, after a while, like any division, it's going to evolve. You're not going to keep it in this package forever. And some women, one thing I tell you, you can't move over to the division, but it won't take it long before they have to make that decision. Hey, if you want to cross over, you can cross over. And promoters make money from crossovers because you saw ladies who were doing both divisions. One day I saw
and women's bodybuilding.
One day I saw who just finally got a pro card, Nina Alpha4, aka Nina Beans, beautiful lady. She kind of reminds me of
Andrea Shaw Jr. She was with me in Pittsburgh. Yes, she's awesome. I love her. She's sweet.
Well, I hope maybe we see her next year. Maybe next year, maybe after next.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I'm not going to hold much too longer, folks. I do appreciate the time you give us, and I hope we're all the best in the future as a competitor. I'm going to ask you just one more question. Mm-hmm. What would you want for yourself out of bodybuilding to your future?
It's weird because I had this goal of getting the pro card, and everybody would kind of ask, like, well, what are you going to do next? And but what after that? And it's like, I never let myself go in that space. Like, this is the goal. Until I complete this goal, this is the goal. And after that, then I'll figure it out as I go. But it doesn't really change. I think I want to see what I can do with my body. I want to push my body and see where I can get with conditioning, with size, with presentation, with posing. I think it's like Drea said, like you're evolving, and you said too, like it's never the same package when you go out there. So I really would like to see how far I can get with it. You know, I don't necessarily have a specific plan or a goal. I think it's more of letting my body decide how big I can get, how conditioned I can get. I don't know where I will excel, like what niche my body specifically will have, but I think I can do something. I do know that I can do something. What it is, I don't want to have expectations, but I want to be proud and say I did all I could. I gave it all I could. I got to the pinnacle of what I was capable. But I think as human beings, we really don't realize that threshold is so much higher than what we think we're able to do. Like, my God, just Drea's story alone, how she started in these smaller divisions and didn't have the wins and success that she wanted, and stepped away for like what, a decade before she came back. And when she came back, look at now, we rewrote the book, you know. So I don't think any of us really know just how high we can jump if we allow ourselves to go. So I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I just want to know that when I'm done, I've done everything that I could.
Yeah, like to quote my other guy, says, "I don't have a plan.
No,
I'm a dog chasing
never.
cars. I wouldn't know what to do when I get one." Yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't even know I had one if I did have a plan.
If you do have a plan, sometimes you always have to adjust to situations, things in your life, you know, things that happen.
Yeet.
You have to be prepared for when it does, but also be ready when it happens. Sometimes I gotta say, hey, you know, it's the quote from my man Rocky Balboa. It's not about how hard you can think you hits, how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Hey yo, Rocky.
Amen. Amen. That's it right there.
And then, like people, I gotta remind people just that people gotta understand these competitors, men and women, they put in a lot of time, the work, the diet, the hydration to present their beautiful physiques. But again, we have to understand and respect that. And guys out there, when you go to these shows, be respectful. Don't be saying, you know, her mom be saying, her dad say, "Yeah, that's our little girl," and say, "Yeah, that's one big bitch. I want to." Yeah. Hey, that's my girl. That's my. And Cassie might jump in the fight. You know, if she, I don't know. Cassie might be the one might be running. So
that's my bodyguard.
Oh, so she's your Kevin Costner. So
yep, somebody got to do it. Somebody's got to do it.
So anyway, we're not gonna hold we too long here. We do appreciate the opportunity for us to share a story. Wish you all the best of luck. Hello, Cassie. Thank you for coming through. You know, don't be scared.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. You have anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
Just you. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Not just for me, but for everybody. Like I said, it matters. And you might not think that it has this wide-reaching audience, but I had seen your stuff before you reached out to me. So you do reach this circle, this family that is women's bodybuilding. You're out here and you're doing something that benefits all of us. So we appreciate it.
Well, I do. I'm hoping to do more because I'm planning on, you know, going to a show because, you know, like I said, I live on a budget, you know, and
Yep.
I love to go to more shows. I'm hoping to go one next year. I also have a plan. I like to go to Olympia. If not, I hope they have bring it to the States. I like to go to the Masters Olympia to bring it to the States in 2027.
What was that in Pittsburgh this year?
The Masters Olympia was in Japan.
Oh, okay, maybe it was a qualifier.
See, because with the Masters World Championships, that's 40 plus get you qualified for the Masters Olympia for 2027.
Okay.
And it's not Olympia qualifier. I don't, Gary Utica could make an Olympia qualifier if he wanted to. I don't know. He's right there. He's one of the capos for the Mannion family.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
it's like I said, Olympia is a friend of mine. He went there. Some ladies went there. I know, and competitors I've done interviews with have done there. I would love to go there in the future. One thing I got to do is two things I got to do is get myself a real ID and get my money up because I've never been on a plane.
Oh, the real ID. Oh God, at the airport. Yep.
Yeah, I never been on a plane. I'm like Mr. T, like, hey fool.
You're not missing anything. I am not a fan of flying. Oh.
But I know because it's like a lot of these places. Like when I went to Tampa, I had to take a train. I catch a train in South Carolina, and had to sit like.
Oh, okay, wow, okay.
I take 5 or 6 hours for the next train to go to Florida. It was the same depot where I went to Savannah back in 2022. Actually, I missed my train back to North Carolina. My niece lived in Atlanta. She came 3 hours to pick her old uncle up and drive him back home. I appreciate that. Shout out to
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I was again, I mean, it was a great opportunity to meet the ladies and talk to people and get a couple interviews and even I got to even meet a celebrity there. And this is like one of the biggest celebrities I ever saw in my life. If you recognize the man in the middle.
Who we got there?
That's one lead singer of the group, Van Halen, Diamond.
Oh my
Dave.
God.
He was there. He was there at Tampa because he's a bodybuilding fan. He used to be friends with the late Kate Baxter. That was his trainer. He was tell us about that. And that was like the biggest celebrity I've got to meet in my life. I mean, it was, if I didn't go there and help my friend Eunice, I wouldn't get a chance to meet him. I mean, and also meet guys like Kevin Lavone, who's a legend. I told him, Mr. Lavone, said,
yeah.
Sir, you should have been Mr. Olympia a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just an experience for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the opportunity. And I would like to go again in the future, maybe to another show. I got family, like I said, my niece lives in Atlanta.
Sid Guillaume does the one, and then Linda Murray had one in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, she has one in Atlanta, and Sid, her show is amateur show, but her and Andrea have the Triple O together.
Yes, because she does Drea's posing. Yeah,
forever. Because she was with John, and now she's with the producer. That's her new coach now.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. And again, I said this. My master Raza Guru Demons taught me, be with surrounds all time, no Master George. Never give up your footing for a killing blow. So thank you, Leah, for your time. All the best luck to you. Now, also shout out to my man KL the Wonder who is here. Shout out to my man Mixer Fix It. Shout out to Josh Simpkins. All you watch this, my man Brown Baldy. All who watch this video, follow me on my social media platforms. Also, follow Leah. Her links are in the description of the live stream, guys. We don't want no weird stuff. We don't want Cassie to be mad about guys saying, why you see yourself to my girl? This is
don't make Cassie come out.
Don't make Cassie come out. But if anybody is genuinely interested in, like I said again, she's still brand new to the sport. If you have advice or anything can help her with this sport, be genuinely interested in her. Don't be weird. Don't be crazy. Just be respectful. Understand these ladies, they put a lot of work. And most people wouldn't be able to do this because most people won't have the discipline and mindset. It'd be easy to be distracted by life.
Mm-hmm. It's rough. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I wouldn't do it if I wouldn't do it now. I like food too.
That's what kept me in the strongman for as long as I was. I was like, I'm not doing that diet.
That diet. So, folks, we appreciate Leah for coming through. Shout out to my guests that were here. Follow me on our platforms and also follow her if you want to reach out. Genuine interest guy, genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy. Don't be that weird guy. Anyway, folks, email always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Good night, good luck, good afternoon, and goodbye.
Shevchenko time.